hopes and treasures beyond your broken wing. There are hopes and treasures beyond your broken wing. Ooh.
What does healing look like, and what does the journey look like towards healing?
Well, the journey is painful. It's very, very painful, coming to terms with the reality of what happened. The journey is long. If people will ask me how long, I'll say as long as you want to make it. You know, it's long. It's kind of 3 to 5 years with intensive therapy, and being in a group is so helpful. And it's coming to new awarenesses, but it's also changing behavior. So if you were the kind of person who took it and took it and took it and took it and took it, like whatever. If your partner says, I want to do this, you say, okay, fine, even if you don't. At work, can you take on one more task? Sure, no problem. Well, you know, when you have to undo all of that, it's painful, it's difficult. The people around you are not going to, sometimes they're not going to be helpful. Sometimes they want to push you back into that box. They want you to get better, but they don't want you to change some of those behaviors. So that's difficult. The healing is spectacular. The healing is so worth all the pain, and the men will tell you that. The healing is, it's almost, I'll tell it, I say it like this. They will say, the guys that are through the healing process, they will say, I wouldn't want to go through that again. I wouldn't want to be abused again. I wouldn't want to have that kind of experience again, and all of the painful experiences before I started getting help, and even the ones while I was getting help. However, I really like who I am today. And for that reason, I'm glad it happened.
Wow. What I notice with a lot of the people that I've met is that there are struggles in the relationships that they're in currently when they begin the journey. Sometimes those relationships make it, and sometimes they don't.
And I tell people that your relationship may not make it. And sometimes they came to save their relationship. So that's a painful thing to hear. But once you let that genie out of the bottle, you can't stuff it back in.
That's true. You can't go back once you start the journey. You have so many insights.
Yes.
So, and it affects all areas of your life.
Absolutely.
Not just the sexual area of your life.
Oh, the sexual area of your life is totally affected. Men often can have sex when it doesn't mean anything. Men who've been sexually abused can have anonymous sex or one-night stands, or when it has no meaning. But if they try to have sex within a relationship that's meaningful to them, they have a difficult time.
That's interesting.
Very interesting.
What's that about? Is that trust, or?
Well, often, probably 75% of the men who've been abused are abused within the context of a relationship. So relationships and sex, you know, that's damaged. And healing is about being able to have a relationship, a healthy, physical, emotional, intimate relationship.
Wow, so they're actually being triggered by...
Yes, by the relationship.
Relationships, and they're in a relationship.
Wow,
that's tricky.
Painful, yeah.
That's good luck with that.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
it's difficult.
there's such a light at the end of the tunnel, though, right?
Yes.
If they can just push through it.
If they can push
Go
through
ahead.
it. And unlike women can kind of, they don't have to respond in the same way sexually as a man does. Men will lose their erection. They'll get triggered and they'll lose their erection. Women don't lose their erection. They may dry up.
We're being a little graphic here.
Yeah.
It's all good.
But yeah, men
can't fake it. In other words,
can't fake it. No, they can't fake it. And women have been sexually abused. They can, like men, they want to have sex, so they can kind of go along with it. They want to have sex with their partner, but men wanted to. They really want to have sex with their partner, but they lose their erection. They can't, and they can't finish. They can't complete. Yeah, it's a long and painful journey.
Just say a little bit. We're going to wrap up, but can you just touch on post-traumatic stress, the flashbacks? And
Oh, well, that's part of not being able to have sex, isn't it? You get a flashback, you get a body memory. You have nightmares. You can be sitting on the subway and smell something, and you get a flashback. And when you get that flashback, your body goes into high alert. So you're in high alert so often, it's exhausting, and you don't trust yourself because you don't know when it's going to happen. So you don't trust that you'll be okay. Yeah.
very
Flashbacks
important
are
to
just- yeah.
work on this type of stuff. Any last advice that you would give to anybody who's maybe somebody who is just starting on their journey or considering it? What advice would you give?
Get help. Get help. Talk to other men. If you're a man who's been abused, find people you can trust, and talk to them. It's so helpful to have other people who've been there. If you're a woman who's been abused, get help. There's help for women out there. It's not as much as it used to be, sadly. Some of the areas that were available for women are closing down, or yeah, it's sad. And I guess there's starting to be more areas for men to get help, and less, and there's still more for women, but
It's interesting. It's changing because a lot more men are coming forward now, which is fabulous. Yeah, we're seeing a really big shift there, I think.
Yes.
So Lynn is in Toronto. Say your company name.
Well, it's Lynne MacDonell and Associates. I can be reached by email, LM for Lynne MacDonell Therapy, lmtherapy@gmail.com, or my phone number is 416-996-4050.
And then you also are involved in some retreats. Do you want to mention a couple things that
I'd
you're
love
involved
to.
with?
I'm one of the facilitators on the malesurvivor.org Weekends of Recovery. I've been involved with that. We're all volunteers. I've been involved with that for over 10 years now. And we have, if you go to the website malesurvivor.org, you'll see where the retreats are located. And it's a fabulous website in terms of all kinds of information. There's chat lines, there's all kinds of, there's chat rooms, there's all kinds of information on the web. I also help out once in a while at the Gatehouse. That's where you're involved.
Absolutely.
And that's another wonderful organization that's really helping a lot of men. And I will often refer, in the beginning of a journey, I will refer men to the Gatehouse and I will refer women because they have women's groups as well. And so, it's starting to happen. We're starting to recognize that trauma is a life debilitating issue. And we can have, if we could heal the trauma in this world, we could close half the prisons.
That's what you said in the chapter.
Yeah.
That resonates with me completely because there's so many people that are violated that they're the acting out.
Yes.
So they're in there and they're also acting in by taking stuff and
Yes.
they end up incarcerated when really
They should be in.
They're innocent.
They're
not innocent, but they're innocent.
Yeah,
you know what I
for
mean?
sure. We could close half the prisons.
Wow,
Yes.
that's wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for asking me. This has been fun.
Thank you so much. I always learn a little bit more each time and moving forward. I'm going to be starting an online facilitating group as well, and I keep saying we need to get together and do something. Okay, we heard it here first. We're gonna get a project going together because I think that'd be a lot of fun.
It would be. And for people who can't access, they're not near Toronto. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Because in some areas, people feel very isolated, and there's no one to turn to. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for watching. I'm Deb Maybury, and this is Lynne MacDonell, and you've been listening to Reveal, Connect, and Heal.
There are hopes and treasures beyond your broken wing. There are hopes and treasures beyond your broken wing. Ooh, beyond your broken